but you did have quite a serious incident at Spa, where you came away with quite serious injuries. I think you fractured your vertebrae and your collarbone, right?
Yeah, yeah. So, like I mentioned, it was the biggest race of the year for us, the 24 hours of Spa. So longest and most prestigious. We qualified pretty well. My teammates and I, we were all rookies to GT racing last year. So I don't think a lot was expected of us, but we qualified. We were P2, but then the lap got taken away for a dubious track limits infringement. I didn't say that. It was, of course, completely the correct decision. But then we were still in just outside the top 10, which is pretty good. And unfortunately, about halfway through my first stint, when we were looking pretty fast, I lost the car going through Eau Rouge, which is the fastest corner at that track. And there's not a lot of runoff, so I hit the barrier. And then the barrier smacked me back out onto the track, and I got hit by a couple of cars that were coming through. So it's probably the biggest accident of my career. And the injuries that you mentioned, I've only really, in the last month or two, completely come out. I can't even really say that I'm completely recovered. There are nagging things that are still going on. But I'm out, going to the gym again. I'm riding my bike, going running, and I can do all of that stuff relatively okay. So, but yeah, it was a couple of months basically of bed rest because the collarbone, I had surgery to fixate that with a plate because it was quite a bad break. But the back, there's nothing to be done for it. It was stable, but I just have to wait for the bone to heal itself. And then in the third month, I was able to start mobilizing myself again and try to build up some of the muscle around my those vertebrae again, some strength in my arm. And I did get back in the car. I think it was at the end of 3 months. It was 10 weeks or something like that for the last round of GT. And then obviously got back in the F1 in Abu Dhabi a month after that. So it was a bit unfortunate to say the least, but luckily it wasn't worse, which it easily could have been. And as with any big injury, you learn quite a lot about your body and taking some strength from that. So that's all good.
Oh no! Well, firstly, thankful you're all right and you're mended or on the road to recovery. So that's brilliant. But yeah, we've had a few scary incidents at Eau Rouge in a couple of Formula now, haven't we? This was a clip from the Race Report podcast, episode 1, featuring Jack Aitken. If you'd like to listen to the whole thing, I'll put a link down in the description below. You can listen to it here on YouTube, over on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Google Podcasts as well. Thank you for listening, and catch you in the next one.